Some say this is one of the most comfortable Mercedes produced ever. Some say this car has almost made a Mercedes-Benz bankrupt because it was built to last. Let's have a look what's the truth. My name is Ted Pajak and I'm pleased to show you how this masterpiece of engineering from 70s looks like. Okay, we start the procedure of starting the old car. First we need to a little bit increase the dose on the pump. Now we start glowing the glow plugs up. Yes, it's glowing. Now it's already glowed. Starting. Very good, machine started. Now we are watching the oil indicator. Okay, full pressure, very good. Excellent, we can already reduce the dose on the pump. Reverse gear, yes. Drive, and we start. Machine is automatic, all diesel. Now we go very gently. Gear 1. Very good. Gear 2. Perfect. We are going on the freeway here with a maximum speed of 80. So I need to watch the cameras. It's very easy to go a bit more than 80, then you get caught. This version in 300D, interior is typically in blue. It's very robust seats, very classical dashboard with the glove box, which is in fact quite deep. Well, automatic transmission, which was not necessarily given in European cars from 70s, and the lovely classical dashboard with a very big readable gauges, big steering wheel and power steering. Very nice roof finishing, and the back seat with quite some space for large people. Booth space, quite large in the back there, between the area of interior cabin and the booth. There is a fuel tank, large fuel tank, 65 liters. Let's see behind the bonnet. What we get here is a 5-cylinder 3-liter diesel engine. It's a very classical inline unit with the very easy access to different components. So as here you can see the fuel pump, large fuel pump with 5 hard lines to 5 cylinders. The inlet of diesel with 2 fuel filters. The pre-pump here was the first filter, so-called transparent filter. Pre-pump, almost never needed, only in case for air trapped. The main fuel filter in here, and the main line introducing fuel to the pump, hard lines to the injectors. Injectors like those are mechanical. It's fantastic. It's all based on spring loads and washes, which sets the distance of spring travel. So it fires up when the injectors fire up when the right pressure is reached. So it's typically cannot be too low, cannot be too high for the right efficiency of the combustion. And these little hoses, the return hoses that return the fuel back into the junction point at the filter. We have here is a large relay box, and this relay box steers the glow plugs. The glow plugs are here. These are these little screws here, 5 glow plugs that go into a pre-chamber where the direct injection is taking place. Here we have a pump, a servo pump for power steering. The power steering unit with is over there, hydraulic of course. So deliberately these high pressure lines are like that. You need to have a height difference. What else from very interesting stuff is this line here, just next to, not sure whether it's visible, this one, yeah, this one is a line that actually goes from this chamber, this one here with the yellow sticker, that's the oil filter, and when certain pressure and especially temperature is reached, this hard line opens and lets the oil to flow into this tube to an oil coolant, to an oil radiator, I mean. So that is actually fantastic setup. It allows you always to retain oil temperature with the right range. Here, this is housing a vacuum pump. So this big kind of transparent line is like a main aortis in the car that takes produces the vacuum. So you see it goes directly into the servo of the brakes. There's main vacuum, and here it's splitting, and this is super important split, because this line of vacuum is actually splitting and splitting further and splitting further. So it goes into fuel pump one line goes to automatic transmission, and number of lines go in depth of the car. It's because this car is really heavily relying on the vacuum. So vacuum allows here to steer the automatic transmission. Vacuum allows to power the central lock of the doors. So and of course it's also supporting the servo of brakes. Very, very important. And it's also regulated here from, you know, if you look at these little lines here, there's a strange splitter here that is steered by this mechanism. This is mechanism of your throttle pedal. Well, in diesel I should not call it probably throttle, but let's say the gas pedal. And this allows to change the vacuum in those lines that run into the vacuum regulator on the diesel pump, and that steers the vacuum that reaches to the automatic transmission. So your automatic transmission knows how much you open the gas pedal, so how much you accelerate, and also knows how much vacuum there is, so what is the RPM of the engine, and adjusts your gear. Well, in here on this side we have the housing of the thermostat the line that provides the coolant into the radiator. Down there, alternator, which is nice because already has the electronic voltage regulator, not like in the let's say the other cars from those age. So it's all integrated here. The diode is here nicely, so it works perfectly. And the large housing of the quite big air filter, the large battery. So this is 80 ampere hours battery. It's a diesel engine, so high compression ratios, which means that it actually needs quite some power. And we start. The machine starts. Now we always watch the oil pressure. That nicely increases. Now the engine is idle. It gets to almost the maximum oil pressure. The temperature is almost in operational range. It has a 500 RPM, so this we put him into drive. Neutral. Let's also make sure the handbrake is off, and drive, and we can go. So the automatic gearbox starts from the first. You add gas and change second gear. It very nicely is now regulated. It feels what I'm trying to do. Talking to this gearbox is beautiful. It always understands what I want to do. Really happy. Now we are going to the right. We're starting from the first gear, gas, and change to the second. Yeah, now we are going to accelerate to 80 and a little less gas, change to the third, and lovely, we gently accelerate. Yes, little less gas, gentle, smooth change to the fourth, and we are already on the highest gear. We need to remember that this is very classical automatic transmission, so hydrokinetic. Hydrokinetic is steered by the oil that is in the system, especially the torque converter. So it has certain blades. So essentially the torque is converted between the engine shaft and the gearbox shaft through the oil, through so-called ATF, automatic or fluid transmission liquid. When you accelerate, the engine has slightly higher RPM. Now when I release a little gas to level up, the RPM of the engine will tend to go down, especially if I start to brake with the engine will tend to go down. It's because I'm actually forcing the ATF liquid to slow down through the blades of the torque converter to slow down the speed of the shaft that goes through the gearbox, so slow down the car effectively. And that's the essence. Yeah, let's be mindful. These kind of diesels are a species that will not be with us in the next, quarter of a century, I'm afraid. So let's treasure them. The power of the engine, although it's a 3-liter block, well, it's only 88 horsepower when it was new, to be precise. This car has 203,000 kilometers, which for diesels from those days were not a lot. They were renowned for making really high mileages, really accessing intervals between rebuilds of easily 500,000 kilometers, or these cars specifically were known to reach 1,000,000 kilometers even. I'm at almost 100 km per hour. In fact, it is already 105, I think, according to GPS. 100.
I didn't mention yet one important aspect when really considering the performance of the old Mercedes W123, and that is maneuverability. This car has somehow the radius of turn so nicely. You can turn the wheel so much that this car is actually very maneuverable despite of its long length.
The car is not a demon of speed, obviously, but the target group for this car were people that were in principle rather wealthy. It was not the equivalent of nowadays car that you can buy for even not for 50,000 euro. Those days the I don't know the numeric value, but let's say translation of the brand new Mercedes W123 from those years into nowadays cars, well, I would not be surprised if it would be up to 200,000 euro equivalent for today. It was really a car for people who had money, wanted to enjoy the ultimate comfort that was available at those days.
I would like to thank everyone for watching. I think the mantra of those who do this on the YouTube is if you liked it, put a thumb up. If you really like it, you can subscribe. It will motivate me to make even more little movies with my old timers. That's it. Until the next movie. Bye bye.